The Magical Goat and the Poor Boy. By the banks of a vast, flowing river, in a small, tattered hut, lived a poor boy named Rahim. His life had been filled with sorrow ever since his mother passed away. Left alone with his cruel stepmother, he was treated no better than a servant. She would give him nothing to eat, make him work all day, and scold him for no reason. Rahim's clothes were torn, his body frail, and his stomach always empty. But the greatest hunger he felt was for love, the love that had left with his mother. Every night, when the world was asleep and the moon cast silver light over the restless river, Rahim would quietly slip away to the small graveyard by the river bank. He would sit by his mother's grave, his tiny hands brushing the cold stone, and cry bitterly. One night, as his tears fell onto the soft earth, a gentle breeze began to swirl around him. The air shimmered, and suddenly, a soft glow appeared before him. From that glow emerged a beautiful fairy, her wings shimmering like moonlight on water, her voice as soothing as the river's song. "Rahim," she spoke with kindness, "I have watched you suffer for too long. Your mother's love is strong, and it has guided me to you. Tonight, I bring you a gift." In the glow of her magic, a golden goat appeared beside her. Its eyes sparkled with wisdom, and its fur shimmered like woven sunlight. "This is no ordinary goat," the fairy explained. "Whenever you are hungry, simply whisper these magic words. Tiny pearls, one by one. Golden feast, second to none. Bless me now, O Mother's grace. Let food appear in this very place. Say these words, and the goat will grant you the most delicious food you desire." Rahim's eyes widened with disbelief. But he trusted the fairy and, with a hopeful heart, whispered the magic words. In an instant, a golden plate appeared before him, filled with steaming rice, warm bread, sweet honey, and fresh fruits. The aroma alone made his mouth water. Tears of joy filled his eyes as he took his first bite. It was the most delicious food he had ever tasted. For the first time in so long, he felt full and satisfied. He looked up to thank the fairy, but she had already disappeared, leaving behind a soft whisper in the wind. "Take care of this gift, dear child, and never let greed take over your heart." The stepmother's cruel plan. From that night on, Rahim never went hungry again. Whenever his stepmother refused him food, he would secretly go outside, whisper the magic words, and enjoy a feast fit for a king. Slowly, he became stronger, healthier, and happier. But his stepmother soon grew suspicious. She noticed that despite starving him, he never looked weak or desperate for food. So one day, she decided to spy on him. Late at night, she watched from the shadows as Rahim whispered the magic words to his goat. Her greedy heart burned with jealousy. "That goat must be magical," she muttered to herself. "If I have it, I will never have to work again." That very night, while Rahim was asleep, she stole the goat and sold it to a rich merchant in the city. By the time Rahim woke up, his golden goat was gone. Devastated, he ran to the riverbank and cried at his mother's grave. "Mother, they took my goat. What will I do now?" he sobbed. The cold wind blew against his face, and suddenly, a soft, familiar glow appeared. "Rahim," she said, "your heart is pure, but the world is full of greed. Do not lose hope. Go to the city, find the merchant who bought your goat, and say these words to the goat. Golden heart, golden light, return to me by magic's flight. The goat will know its true master and come back to you. Rahim wiped his tears and thanked the fairy. He set off toward the city, his feet tired but his heart full of determination. After a long journey, he reached the marketplace, where he found the merchant boasting about his magical goat to a crowd of people. This goat can produce food with a simple spell, he announced. And now, it belongs to me. Rahim stepped forward, his voice steady but firm. That goat does not belong to you, he said. Let me prove it. The merchant laughed. Very well, boy. If you can prove that this goat is yours, I will return it. Rahim walked to the goat and whispered the fairy's words. Golden heart, golden light, return to me by magic's flight. The moment he spoke, the goat's eyes shimmered with recognition. In a flash of golden light, it broke free from the merchant and ran to Rahim, rubbing its head against him affectionately. Gasps of astonishment filled the marketplace. The merchant, now humiliated, had no choice but to let Rahim take the goat back. The boy thanked the fairy in his heart and returned home. When Rahim reached his village, the news of his magical goat had already spread. His stepmother, now terrified of being punished, pleaded for forgiveness. But Rahim, remembering his mother's lessons of kindness, simply said, "Greed brings nothing but sorrow." With the fairy's blessing and his magical goat by his side, Rahim never suffered again. He shared his food with the poor, helped others in need, and grew into a kind-hearted young man loved by all. And though the fairy never appeared again, he always felt her presence in the wind, whispering words of love and guidance. And so, by the river bank where his story had begun, Rahim's tale became a legend, a tale of kindness, magic, and the power of a pure heart. Moral of the story: kindness and patience bring great rewards. Greed leads to downfall. True strength comes from a pure heart.